up, man? What's up, guys? And welcome to episode 3 of The Journey. I'm gonna eat while we have a little quick discussion on something that I was thinking about the other day that came up when I was looking back on some old stage photos and where my journey's been, how it's been. And so the picture was of my back at the first show that I ever did. And I told you guys in the first episode, I finished dead last at that show. And so that was the picture I posted, and then I posted a picture next to it on where I'm at today. And the topic of quitting kind of came to me that day. And I started reflecting on where I developed this warrior mindset that I always like to carry around with me, like the be relentless, the never say die, never fucking give up. Do everything you need to do to accomplish your goal, set your intention, move through shit. And I was looking back at this, and I'll tell the story about that show here in a second, but my very first experience of overcoming such an amazing feat and bringing myself back faced with adversity was I was in 7th grade. I grew up around here in the Houston area in Champions, and I'd played football for like 6 years or some shit like that, and I was in 7th grade, and I remember I was playing receiver, and the play came my way, and it came like the running back's helmet went right into my left leg. I'm talking Joe Theismann shit, Alex Smith type of injury, compound fracture, blood coming out. So all my boys that are watching this that were on that field with me today, I'm sorry to bring that back up for you guys because I know it was nasty. I just remember my boy James getting up and going, holy crap. And then I just looked at my leg and it was literally 90 degrees. Ambulance came on the field. Hell, my mom drove her car on the field. That was the first time in my life I had been in that kind of situation to where I didn't know what to do. I knew I had basketball tryouts the very next day. There was a lot of things that were going through my mind. I was scared. A lot of fear came up, and that's where I'm alluding to with this story. Because it took a lot of rehabbing, and I was scared. And I remember having this discussion with my dad, because I didn't want to play ever again. I was fucking afraid. And excuse my language, but I'm going to be raw with you guys. I was so scared to get back on that football field. And he said, "You're getting back on that football field." And I said, I didn't want to. And I remember crying about it. And I was so, like, that fear of getting hurt and going through this again, it really just created this wound of, like, avoidance. Like, I don't want to put myself in that situation. It's like if you touch a stove, you get burned. You don't want to touch that stove again. In this situation, though, it was more about developing this warrior mindset. And I see that now, and I thank my dad for getting me back on that field, because I did get back on that field. I started rehab. I'd signed up for the track team that summer just to start developing speed again, to start using my leg, because I was in a cast for like 4 or 5 months, full-length cast. And it hurt so bad to run, and there was times I wanted to quit. I said, I can't do this, and that warrior mindset that my dad put in me and my mom just kept talking to me. It was like, keep fighting, you will be back. That summer I was back on the baseball team, and so that fall I played football, and I didn't play after that year just because I wanted to focus on baseball, which I went on later to excel at. But, that story and that experience led me down a path of never quit, never give up on yourself. I started to actually have this confidence in myself, this belief that, I can achieve what I need to achieve despite adversity. Take that, let's flash forward down the road. This was February 2018. I was in my kitchen, which you guys were in the last episode, and you met Sadie, my golden retriever. Well, I was cooking food, and I fell back and tripped over her and hit my neck on the stove. And my whole left side of my body just went completely numb. And I don't know if you guys have seen some of my stage photos, but my left pec is not as big as my right one. And if you think it looks off now, you should have seen it when it happened, because again, I didn't know what to do. I went from 120-pound dumbbells on incline bench to Bree and I going to the gym later on, like the next day, just because I'm crazy like that, and not even be able to lift a 2.5-pound dumbbell. And you can ask her, if you've talked to her, I literally broke down. I broke down so hard in the gym, I didn't know what to do. I was so, again, that wound like showed up again. It was like, holy shit, this is why I need to just quit. I'm never gonna build myself back up. And she grabbed me, just like my dad did. She grabbed me and she goes, "You are a fucking warrior. You will rise above this. You will heal. It's gonna take time, and you will be better than you ever have been." And at the time, I'm like, I don't believe a shitting ass thing you're saying, because right now I'm in so much pain. I'm in excruciating pain, and I don't know what to do. But she kept on. She was persistent. She reminded me of my power, my self-empowerment. I had a choice to take a negative aspect of my life and completely transform that into an opportunity to grow, to thrive, to be better. And I'm here now. And the road just keeps continuing. Let's take the show that I was talking about, my very first show. Well, actually, let's back up. So, that journey of rebuilding, there's a few people I want to thank as well. Ron Vaughn out at Athletic Tune-Up out in Austin, Texas. He started me on the road to recovery as far as healing my chest. He's an amazing muscle manipulator. If you guys are in the Austin area, check him out, Athletic Tune-Up. Amazing guy. And then I moved back to Houston after living in Austin for a little bit. And I started working with Lisa Simeon, who you guys are going to meet next episode. Lisa is an amazing, amazing healer. And I see her just about every week or every other week. And, we just continue to work on my body. And, without them, and my chiropractor, Dr. Rio De Leon, he's amazing too. And so you see, I was gifted this opportunity, one, to grow as a person and rise above another form of adversity, and really just continue to step into my power and heal. And you see that today. It's like I don't look anything like I did then, and I'm not going to look anything like I do today, next year. And that's the mindset. I don't quit on myself. Shit is going to get tough in life, and that was kind of the premise of my post. It was like, I ended the quote, ended that post with the saying, "Quitting's for pussies," and that was something my dad told me, and that stuck. So thank you, Dad. Thank you for that. Because I look at my parents and I'm like, they've been through so much shit. Let's take my mom. My mom's the strongest woman I know. She, that woman has more metal in her body than the Terminator does. And she is my Terminator. She is relentless. She is the definition of relentlessness. It seems like she's in the hospital 3-4 times a year getting some type of surgery. It's like, she's on like every doctor's Christmas list card. And, I honor my parents. I think my strength was derived from watching them overcome a lot of things. And they pushed me to learn to overcome my own objectives, my own shit. And I thank you guys for that. So Mom and Dad, love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for everything. So I didn't mean to circle back, but let's talk about that show again. So I walked out. That was my first show. It was Muscle Beach, which I talked about in the first episode. Muscle Beach 2019. Yeah, 2019 was my first show. I finished dead last. I did like open, novice, true novice, fucking masters. You name it, I did it. I did shitty. And we're gonna show you guys a stage shot here. You know, we'll do a breakaway and show you a stage shot on what I look like. But I remember coming off that stage and saying, instead of like being so pissed off that I had gotten last, I didn't care at that point. It was more so building myself back to where my chest was and my injury, just to get back to that point to where I was able to get on stage with confidence and say, I'm here. And then, of course, the hook got set, which you may hear some of us talk about. Once you do your first show, your hook gets set. And I was hooked, you know. And after that, it was time to regroup, you know, and start focusing on how we're going to get better, how we're going to improve. Because I knew this was an opportunity for me to take something like that and just thrive with it. You know, it's like, you know, the sky's the limit if you allow it to be. But if you quit on yourself at that moment of adversity, you'll never know how high you can go in potential. So that's something I encourage all of you guys to do, is like, look at that shit, you know, look at yourself. If you're that person that just faces adversity and says, fuck this, I quit, you know, take a look at why. Is it a self-belief? Is it a shadow? What is it? I mean, do you not think that you're worth it? Because that's where it has to start. It has to start with internalizing the fact that you are worth it. You're worth every damn second, every amount of effort you put into yourself. Because your goals are important. They're important to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have them. So you know, you're your own worst enemy if you just sell yourself short. So after that show, and I want to show you guys something. Kenny and I are going to walk out here in a second just to kind of finish that story. At the old gym, at Old Raw, I remember sitting there after that show, and it was after David and I talked about curating a game plan to keep getting better for the 2020 season. And Bree and I are sitting there in between sets, and they have this wall, okay, in the main freeway area of like all these elite pro athletes, you know, and I'm sitting here looking at this wall. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, wouldn't that be nice, you know? And Bree asked me, she goes, so what do you want to do now? And it's not what I want to do. It's not what I need to do. It's what I'm going to do. I say, I'm going to be on that wall next year. And she said, which I'm fully expecting her to go, oh yeah, you know, what do you plan on doing to get there? Because at that point, it doesn't matter. It's just that I'm setting that intention. I'm setting that goal, and I'm going to go do whatever I need to do to make it happen. Like I said, it's not that I want to be on that wall. It's not that I need to be on that wall. It's I'm going to do that wall. I'm going to be on that wall. And it's like I already made up in my mind. So I want to show you guys something. So flash forward a year later, you know, through hard work, dedication, most of all, consistency and self-belief in myself. So it's been a journey. So I told you guys about the wall. So you can kind of see this wall here. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing. We're on a story. See, I told you guys. See, Jack is my secret stalker. If you guys haven't. So this is kind of the wall that I was telling you guys about. Remember, I said, you know, I'm going to be on this wall one day. And lo and behold, a year later, I'm on that fucking wall. You know? And so that meant a lot to me. It's not so much about, you know, hey, look at me, all that bullshit. It was more so of reaffirmation of setting intentions, setting my goals, and proving to myself that anything that I set my mind to is possible if I just don't quit on myself. You know, I plan on taking that this year where it says National Men's Physique and making it IFBB Pro, which that's kind of why we're all here. That is the next goal. It's not I want to be a pro. It's not I need to be a pro. It's I'm going to be a pro. Enough said. Okay? So here's what we got planned today. We're going to do a little shoulder workout. We are just under 2 weeks out from the Muscle Beach, the Tournament of Champions in Houston. So we're gonna check in with you guys. You know, we're gonna take you through a shoulder workout. It's gonna be a little bit of high volume today, so we're gonna do a lot of focus on time under tension. We're gonna get our rep counts up a lot today. That's kind of what I wanna focus on. Rear delts, I'm kind of lacking right there. I just need to iron those out a little bit. But for the most part, man, everything's checked in. The food that I brought today is my pre-workout meal. It's got, we went for a couple days on high carbs. Kind of did like a mock peak week a little bit, David and I did, to see just kind of how I was feeling out on high carbs. Then we dropped it back down. So we've been on low carbs again for about 3 days, I think. So we got 105 grams of rice, we got 50 grams of asparagus, 4 ounces of sockeye salmon, and 2 ounces of chicken. That's my pre-workout. And of course, I got the Dijon mustard because honestly, I can't stand the taste of fish unless I douse it with mustard. So I'm gonna go eat, sup up, and then we're gonna hit the gym.
What are you eating, Chris?
Man, this is my fish. So 4 ounces of salmon, 2 ounces of chicken, 105 grams of rice, and 50 grams of asparagus. It's not much, but I'll sustain. It's like all food has a purpose, and the purpose is fuel. This is gonna get me through the workout. So I got enough carbs in here to help me get through the workout. I'm not dying. I mean, we suffer, sure. We're not used to eating this small amount of food for a 215, 220 pound man, but you know what? I don't care. I like the suffering. Bring that shit on. Suffering is what's gonna get me to where I need to go. So, bring it. All right, so I just finished supping up. But the most important thing that I take during prep, especially on days like today when I'm dragging ass, is BMF Nutrition's Limitless. It's prep candy, man. This stuff works like a charm to boost your focus, energy, and mood. Especially dealing with me and Bree. Mood's a big deal. So pop one of these puppies. It's like prep's never even happening. So check it out, guys. We're primed up now, man. Shoulders are on fire. And we just don't want to exercise, man. That's crazy shit. I'm doing any lateral raises, front raises. Well, most of the lateral raises, but is the traps act as an ancillary muscle, and they want to, if you allow them to, they will take over. And so most of your movement will be done by your traps. So it's important to keep those shoulders engaged fully through. That's why ego lifting is bullshit. Lightweight, good form. Outworks, heavyweight, shitty form. All day. Pump's juicy today already, Ken. If you guys don't know what a solid pump feels like, y'all are missing out. I'm talking like a pump so good, it feels like your fucking skin's peeling off. And your muscles about to break your skin. Y'all may be asking, where's Bree today? I know, she's great. Y'all don't want to see more of my eyes, you want to see more of her. I get it. She's a lot prettier than I am. I don't know where the hell she's at. I think she's working today. I think she's working though, but she'll be up here later. We don't work out every day together, to be honest with you, but it's healthy. It's healthy. No, but after this, her and I are going to, if y'all didn't know, I have a 7-year-old son. Actually, he'll be 7 tomorrow. But I coach his baseball team. I'm one of the coaches on his baseball team. So, go to show you guys. Hey, look, this isn't all we do. We have a life outside of this shit. We still have responsibilities. Still have parental obligations. That's the most important thing in my life, honestly, is being a good dad to my son. That's one of the reasons I moved back to Houston from Austin, because I don't miss baseball games, I don't miss baseball practices, and I don't want to miss time away from him. So that is the most important thing in my life, and always will be. Everything else just comes kind of secondary. But yeah, I'm super grateful to be his father. He's an amazing kid. Couldn't be more blessed. And speaking of Harrison, my son, that's his name. You guys are going to get to meet him in episode 5 because he'll be at the show. He loves to watch his daddy compete, and he tells me every day he wants to have big muscles like his daddy. I said, well, you can, Bubba. And you know, talking about never quitting, I remember that's something I always, just like my parents instilled in me, I pass that on to my next generation, Harrison. So take, for example, learning to ride his bike. He fell down over and over and over and over and over again, and he wanted to quit, but he got back on it because, you know, we sat there and talked and said, you know, don't quit, keep trying, you know, until you get this. And he was riding a bike by 4 years old, and once we got him going, he couldn't stop him. But it has been, and you know, I picked him up last weekend because he was staying at my parents' house, and he likes to do the little trampoline parks and whatnot. And he's been working on doing a front flip for, I don't know, a couple years. He never could get it. But his words to me, which I needed to hear, were, "I'm not going to stop trying, Dad." I'm like, oh God, thank you, Jesus, you're amazing. How did I get so gifted with this amazing son who already grasped the concepts of never giving up? So I picked him up, and he was so excited. He ran up and gave me the biggest hug. He's like, Dad, I did the front flip. And it's like, boom, that's what I'm talking about, man. You know, just staying at it, never giving up, doing your shit until you get it. There'll be trials, tribulations, hard times, setbacks, but at the end of that road, a lot of gold. For me, you know, support systems, people that believe in you. You know, and like I was saying earlier, it starts with believing in yourself first. But honestly, if you surround yourself with people and naysayers and doubters and shit like that, eventually you're going to start ingesting that energy. That energy is going to seep into you, and you're going to actually start believing those lies that you're not capable. So if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend that doesn't believe in your goals and doesn't believe in you as a person and your success and doesn't support you fully, tell them bastards to fucking bounce, because you don't need that negative energy. What you need is somebody to lift you up. So remember that. So think about those naysayers and those doubters, and you, when you hear stuff like that, know that those self-doubt or those doubts in you are really just now a projection of how they feel about themselves, their own insecurities, their own fears, their own self-doubt. Because misery loves company, and they're trying to invite you to that party. So RSVP, no. You know who else I draw a lot of inspiration from? I want to give a shout out to this man. It's my Uncle Marv, man. This guy, like, he defines badass. So I Oh, sorry, Uncle Bob. I don't know how old you are. You're like 80, almost 70. Dude still runs like 15 miles a day. Does Ironmans, even though last year he didn't get to do his Ironman, even though he trained for it, but he kept training. But he's always dropped me like some inspirational stuff, and he wants to see me succeed. That's just like I want to see him succeed. But the true strength that I see in him is the never giving up. You know, he growing up, he had, well, he still does, terrible asthma. You know, he would turn blue from stories he's told me, and he started small. He said, I'm gonna run. And so he started small, jogged a little bit, came back. Next week he went a little bit further, came back. Next week a little further than that. And so he progressed. He progressed. He didn't say, oh, I got asthma, I'm just not gonna run ever. He's like, no, man, I'm gonna defy the odds and I'm gonna do it anyway. And here he is, like 70 years later, doing Ironmans. It's like, it's the most unbelievable shit I've ever seen. So, Uncle Marv, true inspiration, brother. Here's one thing you need to know. Farther along you go in prep, harder the workouts get. Everything's a little tight. So when you're trying to get sub 3% body fat, your body's just pretty much just running on high octane, whatever it can find, man. So at this point, we're just trying to get a little pump. We're not trying to build a whole lot of muscle right now. That phase is come and gone. That's for progression season, not for prep. So. So earlier we were talking about my chest and everything like that, and like the healers, and I mentioned a few. Louise is also one of the people I see on a weekly basis. She specializes in Graston, which honestly has been the game changer for me in breaking out the fascia tissue, knots and whatnot. So she is a part of my squad, and I'm so grateful. So like I said, I have a few people that I trust in my body, a few people that help me just get ready, primed up. It's a weekly thing. So, and she's amazing too. I'll call her at like 10 o'clock at night. I need to see you at 9. I'm having some problems. Even on a Sunday. Well, actually that was Bree. Bree called her up. We got her up here on a Sunday, 8 o'clock. So, she's amazing. So, thank you, dear.
Good to be part of your team.
Yes, ma'am. So, one thing that's touchy to me, and you know, I didn't know if I was going to share this or not, but one of the biggest obstacles and struggles that I've ever had in my entire life was addiction to alcohol. So there we go again. But I reached levels of darkness that I don't think I didn't even think were imaginable. The revolving cycle, the struggle, the repetitiveness of it, and that was the biggest time I ever wanted to quit on myself, quit on life itself. You know, it's like I didn't know how to get out of that shit. And we're gonna talk about this in like another episode when I have more time and go in depth. But you know, while we're on the subject of never giving up on yourself, that is the biggest time I've never given up on myself. I kept pushing along, pushing along, pushing along, pushing along. And going back to the people that support me and believe in me, I had those support system, you know. My brother, God bless this man. I love you, bro. This guy made me see things, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go on another journey and talk about the ways like I've had help from, especially from him and my sister-in-law. You know, they stood by me, held my head up, held my mom, my Bree, my dad, my ex-wife, my son. You know, they've always been there for me, never stopped believing in me. But I just had to believe in myself first, you know. And it's like you can have all the people believe in you, you know, along the way. But you have to believe in yourself, because ultimately you're the one that chooses. You're the one that chooses to make the decision to push forward or just fall to your knees and quit, you know, and that's never going to be me, you know. So I have that right there. That is my warrior, you know. I look at that every single day. It reminds me to never give up, never quit, and that warrior mindset that I talk about. Always keep that with me at all times. So I wanted to bring you guys into my past a little bit, and you know, just be completely honest and authentic with you guys, because that's what I want to give you. So we're gonna dive. Like I said, we got a long way to go. We got a lot more episodes to film, but just wanted to give you guys a little bit of that. So if you're out there struggling, if you're out there not believing in yourself, for thinking that there's no way out, you can't push forward, just listen to me. There is a way out. There is a way forward. Just don't give up. Keep pushing forward. Alright guys, well that wraps it up for this episode of The Journey. That is episode 3. I'm having a great time bringing you guys kind of into my world and what it looks like. You know, today was a very opening up day for me. You know, I told you guys a little bit about myself, and we're just going to keep digging a little bit deeper and kind of expose a little bit more as we go along. And I'm really excited about you guys getting to know my story a lot more, not just in this industry, but me as a person, and how we're growing. So like I said, this isn't just about physical growth and achieving the next level in this industry. This is about a day-to-day ongoing growth experience, both physically, spiritually, and emotionally. It's like how do we take care of ourselves, you know, on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, the premise of this episode again is like, just never give up on yourself, believe in yourself. You're your biggest fan if you let yourself be. So nobody's going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. Nobody's going to make your choices for you. So you're the one that gets out of bed every day and makes that choice, whether you want to grow or whether you want to dwindle away. So, you know, when you're faced with adversity, you have two choices. One, to look at it as defeat. 2, learn from it. You know, there's not winners and losers. There's winners and learners. So change that perception. You never lose. You always learn, though. So anyway, tune in next time, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Share with your buddies if you like what you're seeing. Let me know about it. You know, I want to hear from you guys. But I appreciate the safe space you guys have given me today. It means a lot to me. But love you guys, and I'll check you on the next episode.